Today I am going to unhaul some books. It's been quite a while since I did my first unhaul. I know I've only done one, but I didn't really have a lot of books before I started BookTube. So I've been collecting over the past 2 years, and I have quite a few books. But lately I've just been feeling like maybe I have too much stuff. I've been using the library almost exclusively, and I'm really enjoying it. And I kind of feel like I don't want to keep books that I'm not going to read again. So unless it's something that I really love and that I want to read again, I'm pretty much trying to get rid of it. The first book I'm unhauling today is Gills, Fright Diner. It is by A. Lee Martinez, who also wrote a book that I really enjoyed, Helen and Troy's Epic Road Quest. And it was really interesting story about two teenagers, one who's like a popular, perfect guy, and one who is this young woman who has what's called minotaurism, which basically means she's like furry and has horns. Really, really funny and smart and just all around entertaining. So I wanted to read more of his work, but this one I bought and it just didn't grab me. I also hate the little mass market paperbacks, so I'm just going to say goodbye to this book and maybe try one of his other books, because I know he has quite a few other books that are supposed to be pretty good. I can't exactly remember when I read this. It is Karen Joy Fowler's We Are All Completely Beside Ourselves. At the time, I really loved it, and I thought it was a pretty great book. I think I might have even said it was one of my favorites for 2014. But when I thought about it, I realized that the story is like sad enough that I don't think I want to read it again. And this might come out of my unhaul stack at some point before I donate these books, but in the meantime, I just think I can't handle this emotionally, and I don't want to talk too much about why, but let's just say it has to do with animal cruelty. I couldn't do it, but I did like this book, so if you haven't read it and you want to read a story about like complex family issues, this is a good one. I never did a review for this book, but I've mentioned it several times. Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I read this a while ago and I didn't really like it that much. I kind of felt like it was predictable. Everybody was kind of horrible, and at the time that just didn't appeal to me. A lot of people enjoy this stuff. I'm sure that someone will give it a good home, but I didn't like it at all. It's one of the only books I think I've read since I started BookTube that I really just didn't care for. The next book I have is Sputnik Sweetheart by Haruki Murakami. I really, really liked this book. It was different and unique, and people love Murakami, whatever. But I don't know. I think that at the time I was really excited to read it, and so I kind of maybe thought more favorably of it than I really would have. There was a lot of hype about Murakami on BookTube at the time. I'm still interested in reading his other books. I'm just not really interested in owning this particular one. So hopefully I can read more of his work, because I know that there are others that are probably even better than this. This was the very first book that I reviewed on my channel and my first video, Death Comes to Pemberley by P.D. James. I was really disappointed by this book. In fact, that review is probably one of my only actual negative reviews, which is something that I regret and something that I am really, really working on right now, to be more honest and not sugarcoat things, because I care way too much about people's feelings. And they're not gonna, most writers aren't gonna see my reviews, so I don't think it matters that much. So that's something I'm working on. But I did give this a pretty bad review. I really disliked it. I didn't really think that the characters seemed like, Darcy and Elizabeth, and just none of it made sense to me in this context of Pride and Prejudice. I really don't like books like this. I feel like it's kind of silly. It's like Jane Austen fan fiction, and it's weird that it gets published. I'm sure it's enjoyable, and I know a lot of people like it, but it's not for me. I am a little too picky about it, so I can't believe I didn't get rid of this sooner. I have no interest in this whatsoever. This was on my unread bookshelf. It is The Namesake by Jhumpa Lahiri. I really actually like her other writing, so I don't know why I couldn't get into this book, but I tried pretty hard, and then I just put it down. And I've never really had the compulsion to read it again, and I just don't even think about it, even though it's on my shelf and I see it whenever I go and look for something to read. So, I don't know, I feel kind of sad because I'm a longtime fan of Interpreter of Maladies, and I know that her work is incredible, so I don't know. It happened. I'm sorry. Last year, I dove into The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Really not my usual reading, but I wanted to try it. I heard so much about it, so I just did it. And while I'm glad that I did it, and I did find the book to be, enjoyable, I didn't love it. And it's also really long and not exactly easy to stay like hooked, though I was a big fan of the ending, which is interesting. So I just don't think I'm going to read it again. I still haven't read Donna Tartt's other books. Maybe I'll get those from the library and see if maybe The Goldfinch is better. I don't know. One day. I think this is one of the first books I bought because of BookTube. And it was before I really figured out my niche and the kind of books that I wanted to read. Is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs, which I thought the premise was really interesting. I just didn't like the execution. And at the time, I had been reading YA casually while I was getting my English degree. And so I think by the time I got to this, I was like, that's okay. I don't want to do this anymore. I do love the fact that this book has pictures in it. I know that's really random, but between like the cover design and the art and the pictures, you really feel like you're there and you're in it. So that was a cool thing about the book. But I didn't like it, and I think I started the sequel and I didn't like that either. So I think it's time to say goodbye to this as well. The House at the End of Hope Street by Minna von Prague. This is a book I read in 2014. It was a couple of months after I joined BookTube, and I bought it because I liked the cover, and I guess this was one of those live and learn situations because I thought this was a little too sappy, a little too cheesy, and just generally not the kind of book that I'm interested in. Everything was too convenient, and it's really sad because it was about this house that was like magical, and like this house heals women and things like that, and it was very like female centric book in a good way, but yeah, just no. No. That is all for now. If you have any thoughts about the books that I unhauled today, or if you want to yell at me for unhauling them or disliking them, that's cool. Do it in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.